I'm superintendent for Enid Public Schools, and we have a few things going on. We passed a $99.5 million bond issue in February. That was the culmination of almost a 2-year process where we brought community members together, a facility advisory committee, Dawn and Bobby being members of my committee, and looked at, what should the future of Enid Public Schools be? What should our buildings look like? What should our grade configurations be? All of those things, and put together a master plan. Took it to the community. We had a little gap between what we thought the master plan should be and the amount of money we thought was the appropriate amount for a bond issue for our citizens and the tax base. So 9 community members, companies, Mr. Ward, Continental Resources, others in the community stepped up and donated $3.4 million to bridge that gap, which turned out to be the largest private donation to a public school in Oklahoma State history. So we're very proud of that. We will build 2 new elementary schools with that money, as well as renovate our 14 existing schools. And it's a really exciting time for the district. When I was hired 2 years ago, our population was right at 6,400 students. We're at over 6,850 students this year, and we expect to go over 7,000 students next year. So I'm not sure what the census is going to show this year, Brent. I know Brent's been working hard on that, but our student population is continuing to grow by leaps and bounds, and that's really an indication of the growth of our community and the business climate here.
How are you faring with the budget cuts from the state?
Well, like many schools, we have we're going to see our share of cuts for next year. We'll probably have to cut $2.5 to $3 million from our budget for the next fiscal year. Being a growing school, it's a little easier than schools that aren't growing, because with new students come new dollars. So we may not have to cut as many teachers. We just want to add as many teachers for the growing student population. We grew about 300 students this year, and we're able to not add teachers based on that. So that gave us $1 million cushion for this year. That's about how much we were cut this year, was $1 million. So that growth really helped offset the cuts and allowed us to really protect the instruction in the classroom.
Thank you, Shawn, so much. We appreciate it.
Exciting thing. We expect to have the entire project done in 3 years. 36 months is our timeline to have 2 new elementary schools.
We don't waste time up here.
Well, that was an important part of our discussion, because the citizens they voted for it. We have the need today. Our classrooms are overcrowded. We have new students coming in. We have over 600 kindergartners pre-enrolled for next year. So that means we'll probably exceed and get close to a 700 student class, whereas just 2 years ago, we only had one 600 student class, which was kindergarten 2 years ago. So we're seeing that, especially at the early elementary level. So it's needed now, and I think the citizens and the community really need to see the fruits of that election, so that we can continue to move forward with the issues in this community, with the city, whether it be the city or the county or whatever the entity is.
Well, I'm Lou Ward. I'm chairman of the Cherokee Strip Regional Heritage Center, and I'm proud to be able to say that we have a super group of volunteers in our organization that have helped us tell the story of the Cherokee Strip Regional Heritage Center, or through the Cherokee Strip Regional Heritage Center, the story of the settlement of the Cherokee Strip. And in telling this story, we began to realize that there were a lot of very exceptional things that have happened in the past. And some of the things that caused these things to happen resulted in a culture that was different, a little bit different than other places. And we began to realize that people liked this story so well that they were contributing and helping. And we found out that over a period of time, armed with our slogan, claiming our past and inspiring the future, we were able to raise $9.8 million to remodel the old museum and add on and double the size of it. We talk about Enid being a city under construction. And I think that aptly describes where we are today because of things like Shawn has pointed out, that the people of Enid have developed a caring attitude. And I think we probably have more volunteers per capita than any other city in the state. We start out with some of the things that have made this happen, like the Boy Scout building. Probably one of the first things that was remodeled under was volunteer and outside city contribution. I mean private contribution. The next thing that happened was Leonardo's Discovery Warehouse and Adventure Quest. And we watched the people of Enid turn out en masse to help build Adventure Quest. It was right north or right south of the Leonardo Discovery Warehouse.
I should take you by that this morning.
Yeah.
Been able to do so. We'll try to do that later too.
And that's something really worthwhile seeing. Then following that, we saw the renovation of the top 2 floors of the Knox building into the Enid Symphony Hall, which is a real masterpiece of renovation. And then we have the Enid YMCA. A town of 50,000 people has 8,000 members. I don't think any other YMCA in the country